Hello, visual comm teacher. I'm going to be showing my roommates this design. So we will go ahead and turn on the timer and start. Okay. So you have 30 seconds to just kind of look at this. And tell me what you think I will have. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so now we go ahead and just share our reactions. So go ahead and tell me what you like, what you dislike.
I liked how the title is like, that's like the first thing. Well, the first thing I looked at was the picture, and then I looked at the title.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good, and I like that because then you're like, oh, it's a graduate leadership conference, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then you kind of are like, oh, and then the people like look happy in the picture. So it's like, oh, this looks cool, you know, and it just draws your attention to it, and then it makes you want to read what it says.
Right.
Yeah. I just like the design of it. I mean, the focal point is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. What do you think of like the use of white space in it? Is like part of our classes we need to have like, it's not supposed to be too bunched up, like there's supposed to be good use of white space. Do you think there's areas that I can improve on it? Like what would you fix if you had to fix things, or what do you think needs fixing?
Maybe break this up a little bit, just because this is like a lot
Mm-hmm.
right there. So it's kind of like you kind of just want to skim through it instead of like actually reading it. So maybe like condense it so it's like not too much wording, or maybe like break it up a little bit.
Maybe smaller text to make it look like it's not a huge chunk of reading.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
I think other than that, that's good. And I like that the times, like, that's like at the beginning, so you know exactly when and where.
Right.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Timer. Okay, so the third part is to analyze my message. So if you were looking at this and all you could see was like this, this, and this, would you still understand what was going on without all this text? So picture, heading, date, and time. What's going on? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like, it's a meeting about, or a conference, I guess, about leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the time and the place is in bold, and so it's easy to read, it's easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And then this just kind of adds to it, like,
yeah.
This is text that they gave us that we need to like our teacher is essentially our client, and so the text was written out, and we like have to incorporate this. I think I like what you said about just making it smaller, because it's like a 14-point font, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be smaller than that anyway. So I'll just take it down a size so that it feels like there's less reading, even though that text does need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see how this would reach out to like graduate students? Like, does it have an appealing look to it that's going to catch their eye? It's supposed to convey kind of a business edge to it. So does it look like business professional, or are there things I could change to make that better?
Yeah, I think it does. I think especially because like right here it's like graduate, and so that's gonna capture your attention, like as a graduate, you know, it's like, oh, and then it's like, I don't know, it's just yeah.
It just works.
Yeah, and then like the what's the word?
The logo.
Yeah, the logo. That's good too.
Yeah, that one we just had to incorporate, so I wanted it to kind of match like the font.
Yeah,
so I
that's
just
good.
kind of made my font match the logo, so it worked all together.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last step, I get to share my opinions, and I'm going to review the checklists to make sure that everything looks smooth with it. So we already talked about this, but my message, you think that's conveyed pretty well?
Mm-hmm.
And then it appeals to my audience, which is going to be graduates in the leadership conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
White space, we kind of talked about. You think I need more of it here, right?
Yeah.
And maybe here, maybe making the picture smaller would help with that. What do you think? If I made that smaller, made this a little smaller, and then spread that out more.
Yeah. I honestly like the size of the picture,
Mm-hmm.
just because that's like, it draws your attention, then it makes it seem like it's something you want to read.
Right.
But if you need more white space, then yeah, the picture could be made smaller, but definitely the font size.
Okay. Grouping and alignment. So do you see how I lined up this? This is all aligned on the side. The logo lines up. And even though these are staggered, there's still an element of them being aligned.
Mm-hmm.
The picture lines up with the edge of the E, and I'll need to scoot it over maybe just a little bit, but it's pretty where I want it to be right now. And then this text box aligns with the picture as a whole. Focal point and flow, I wanted your eyes to be drawn here and here. So is that where you started off?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Contrast, can you see the contrast that I tried to put up here?
Yeah, I was gonna say something and I forgot, but yeah, I did like the contrast.
Okay.
Like it's more bold, I guess.
And let me show you my InDesign document on the computer. So, my timer's gonna go off, that's okay. So, can you see how this is shaded better on here? So I like that better, and it didn't print like that, so I'm gonna have to make it more drastic on here so it's gonna print like that. But can you see how like this is light, this is darker, this is darkest?
Yeah.
So do you think that that looks better than this because it continues with the flow of what I'm kind of going with?
I do like that better.
Okay. You said you like the font works, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Repetition, I showed you already in the lines. Gestalt, do you think it just... Gestalt. Does it all come together as a whole well?
Yeah, it does. Like, it lines up and it just like, I don't know, it's good. It works really
nice.
well. Yeah.
Awesome. And then my requirements are that I used all the text, but it asks for a small body copy. So like you said, I'll probably shrink this down. Logo used, but not for a title. So my logo's at the bottom. One proportional image, so I have that. And then no widows or no hyphens, which means like a widow is one word at the bottom of the line. Like if I just had the word business right here on this line, that would be a widow or an orphan. Or like one, if I had like a hyphenated word, like, where's one? Seminar, like if that word's split, then I would need to bring it up to be on the same line. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then my title is effective, right? Because it's showcasing all three. And then margins. 5.5 inch margins, which I am not exactly sure what my margins are. So I need to go back in and make sure they're 0.5. Because they look like they're... So yeah, thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
Let's close this.